Yo, check this out. This your boy V Dog with DT Mob. I'm out here messing around with my bike Plain Jane. Anyway, we're thinking about taking some long trips coming up pretty soon. First up is Phoenix, Arizona. Dallas to Phoenix. With that being said, I need to discuss some things for these hog riders out here that want to get on their bikes and roll long distances. For the guys who really don't get out of town much, a lot of them start to venture out and really ride. A few things that you need to try to do before you go. One, check over your bike. More particularly when you're dealing with these Harleys, there's some things that you need to know about these Harleys. And pretty much every bike. Every bike I've owned, and I've owned all major brands, had screws to fall off, had things to come loose. You get on the road and that's just what happens. Screws are going to come loose. But what I'm going to do is point out the major points that happen on Harleys. Every bike has their own major points that they have to take particular care about. So this right here is going to be my points before you ride out on your bike, things that you need to do and things that you want to tighten up before you leave. Let's just, since I'm right here, let's start with here. See that? Those come loose. You want to make sure those are tight so you won't roll down and have your brake or clutch lever fall off. These right here, they get loose a lot. That's minor, but you want to make sure that you have that tight. Another thing for you Harley guys, especially with these bags here, go ahead and show you something. If you don't have these, you tripping. Might as well go ahead and get these. And what they are, instead of the pins that go in here, you got screws. It screws in and tightens up. These are really cheap from Harley Davidson. I have actually another set that goes to my club brother, 40 Water. Put this back in here to come loose. And it comes in a set for both sides. When you buy it, you get both sides, and it only costs $37.50. And you can get all four, 1, 2, 3, 4 for both sides, and you got your pins there. This is the part number 90201-540. That's the part number you need to order, and when you get it, you'll have these. And now that I have them, it's real easy to take off. I'll unscrew this one, and I'll unscrew this one for you. Show you another key point that you want to take more attention to. Anyway, right here. See these? Can you see that? Those right there come loose. You can lose tailpipes. This thing will be rattling and shaking through. This. Check those bolts before you roll out, because that right there is a nuisance. You have one on both sides, and everybody knows what they are. And if you have a single pipe, it's just going to be worn. Self-explanatory. Do that. And make sure you do these here. This right here I made a little bit too big, so I need to do something different with it. Screw those in like that. And also what that does also prevents people from stealing them, because they know how to They know how to go in and clip those clips that comes in from the outside. How they do it, I don't know, but that's what happens, and your bags will be gone. So go ahead and get these. If you don't have a 2017 and above, go ahead and buy these from Harley Davidson. Security bags. Now that's tight. Another particular one that's really the most major one that you want to do here. This whole system here. You want to check that, and more particularly, there is a Allen here. There's a screw right back here, the back. I can't show it to you. I know you're not gonna be able to see it, but you want to tighten that out. This comes out all the time. Everybody had a Harley, probably had that to happen. Tighten that up. Tighten these here up, and when you do that, you will have a nice tight seal, because if you let it loosen over time, it will wear out the little grooves in here, and then it will never tighten up again. So if you just keep it tight, you will never have to buy another one of these cylinders that goes all the way through here. So tighten that up. Tighten this up. Make sure you do that. That is major. You don't want to do that. Another thing is the bracket that goes to your mufflers. One on both sides. If you have a single side, it's one. Tighten that up. And I'll let you know right now, if they start coming to loose and it's as tight as it can get, stop trying to tighten it. Just buy a whole new bracket. Or this muffler will just continue to just slide out. Make sure you do that. That's major. I'm not going to even get into checking your tire pressure and making sure your belt is tight. Just take your bike in and have it serviced if you don't know how to check that stuff. But those are major points right there. This some of the major things that go wrong with these bikes when you're out on the road. This is an aftermarket breather, but there's a screw that goes off in here, and that screw tightens up into here. You want to make sure that those are tight. Get your little Allen wrench, tighten these things up before you go. And if you just want to be really anal about it, just get your little Allen wrench and just hit all of them. Hit all these. Hit on both sides. Make sure your screws, your plugs to all your 3 holes for your oil, the primary, and the transmissions are tight. And hopefully those small tidbits there keep you from being on the side of the road. Anyway, those are just some of the key points that you want to make sure that you touch before you roll out. I would suggest just go ahead and hit each one of these, everything you got on the outside. Just hit it, just to be double sure. You're about to ride 1,000 miles. Last thing you want to do is be dealing with something so simple as a screw coming out. And if you do find some of these things loose on your bike, on the key points that I told you, get you some blue Loctite. Blue Loctite. Put blue Loctite. Loctite is your friend with these bikes. Get you some blue Loctite and put it on those screws. When you put it back on there, that can save you a heap of trouble. So I haven't had trouble out of plain Jane, but after the last one, I definitely learned, especially when you start dealing with aftermarket parts and it's not all Harley. Yeah, that stuff is just not made for the long haul. So you're going to check that stuff more often. Anyway, this your boy V-Dog with DT Mob, giving you the key points to check over on your hog before you hit the road.